Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into some deep waters. We're looking at the completion of free will, divine love, justice, and the role of ultimate sacrifice. Big stuff.
Absolutely. The sources are complex, definitely thought-provoking.
Right. So our mission, like always, is to pull out the key insights for you, make it a bit easier to grasp. Okay, let's jump in.
Let's do it.
First up, this idea I found fascinating. Even angels' free will isn't like totally complete. It keeps this possibility of crime. What's that about? Sounds a bit worrying.
Well, yeah, it sounds that way at first, but what's really interesting here is that this possibility isn't seen as a mistake. It's actually part of God's, let's say, master plan to really show his perfect love and justice, to prove his commandments are true.
Okay. How does that work?
So the creation of Adam, of humanity, was apparently crucial. It was meant to demonstrate, that Satan's accusations were false. It's through genuine, unforced choice that God's rightness is shown. And when the angels fully get that whole possibility of crime just dissolves for them. Ah, I see. So it vanishes then.
Exactly. That's when creation finds its ultimate completion, its rest.
Okay, so it's about proving the truth through choice. But these commandments, are they incredibly hard to keep? Is that the point?
Actually, no. The sources are pretty clear. They're easily kept. The problem comes from, well, selfishness. Or, as the text puts it, trampling neighbors, basically. Hurting others for your own gain.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not the difficulty, it's the choice.
Precisely. God's command to obey comes from love. It's for our own good. And this leads to the question of how perfection shows up, right?
Yeah.
And that's where the cross comes in. It's presented as God's ultimate display of love. It gives Adam humanity the power to understand and return that love, to the point of keeping the commandments, even if it means death.
Wow.
And that journey transforms us into God's image, not just looking like him, but reflecting his selfless love. That brings victory over death, this resurrection transformation.
A complete change, not just coming back to life.
Exactly, a glorious transformation into that perfected state. This ties into the martyr witnesses mentioned. Who are they specifically?
Yeah.
Why is their sacrifice so vital?
Yeah, they're central. They are the proof, essentially.
Yeah.
The first fruits, the initial examples. Our sources put them in three groups. First, Jesus' thing at Passover, the ultimate sacrifice.
Okay.
Then the disciples, like Pentecost, filled with the Spirit, becoming witnesses.
Right.
And finally, the 144,000 representing the full harvest, the Feast of Tabernacles. Their sacrifice confirms God's love and justice. And that confirmation is what helps perfect angelic free will, bringing peace.
That's quite a picture. So what's the final destination of all this, the ultimate goal?
Well, the end game is this absolute final confirmation, no more doubt about God, his nature, his ways. And this leads to a state of free will where sin just isn't possible anymore.
Not possible. How? Is choice removed?
No, not removed. It's that the understanding and the love are so complete, so total, that choosing sin becomes, well, unthinkable. Unimaginable, and that leads to eternal life. Death, even Hades, the grave, they just become obsolete, unnecessary.
An incredible vision. But okay, if sin eventually becomes impossible, where did it even start? How did God handle that initial break?
Yeah, the origin. The sources say sin comes from desire, wanting more than what God provided, going beyond the bounds. Now, God allows temptation, but only what's bearable, always respecting free will. He doesn't force choices.
Okay.
And here's something really striking. Even Hillel, Satan, who had immense light or understanding, he chose to reject grace and sin.
Despite knowing better, essentially.
Exactly. But God, knowing everything from the start, actually uses those very choices, even the bad ones, as part of the process to ultimately remove sin entirely from creation. And the cross, its love is described as the most powerful light there is, powerful enough to change even beasts.
Beasts, like animalistic nature.
Yeah, those driven by instinct, seemingly furbished from God into God's image. How? By inspiring this unbreakable love, even when faced with lies and deception.
So that brings us full circle. What an incredible deep dive today. Seeing how free will, divine love, justice, they all weave together around the cross.
Leading to this ultimate victory over sin and death, the perfection of everything.
Yeah.
And connecting it back for you listening. This perspective suggests freedom isn't just, having options. It's about perfecting choice through love. It's aligning your will with what is ultimately good, with that divine love.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. If, as the sources suggest, even beasts could be transformed by the cross's love to keep the commandments, the cross is the ultimate act of love, what does that really say about the nature of free will? Yeah, maybe about your own choices when you're called to love.